Hi there. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror films. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your mysterious enchanted spirit whispering evil things in your ear, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another episode.
I've come to look forward to how you're going to tie your introduction to the movie that we're talking about that day. And I wonder if there'll ever come a day where you just have a complete brain fart and can't think of one. And
wait, they're connected to the movie? How's that related to the movie?
How are you? How's it going?
I'm good. I have spent it's the weekend for those who don't know.
It's actually Labor Day.
It's actually
in America.
Labor Day,
actually?
and I'm doing labor. This is emotional labor for you, Josh.
Sorry to mansplain you what day it is.
And so, I've had a long weekend before this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But my car had broken down. And by broken down, I meant needed a new battery and some fuel lines and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I'm not happy with any of the mechanics that I have seen in Los Angeles over the past 2 years of owning this whole ass car.
I've had some bad experiences.
I just did all the work myself. Which, was an afternoon and a lot of running around, but it was exponentially cheaper. It's all stuff that I picked up from my father, who, not a great person, but, worked on cars and taught me how to work on cars a little bit. And I worked in a garage for a short time. But then a lot of it, I just, didn't remember because it's been 15 years or some shit. So I just Googled and I was like, how do I do this? Oh, okay. And then I did it. And it takes a little bit of elbow grease and knowing what kind of socket wrench to use, which you figure out. But yeah, and now my car's running better than ever.
I am
much easier.
So impressed that you did that. That is some real hot girl shit. That is tough girl from wrong side of the tracks territory.
I was literally doing it while wearing camo pants, a little dykey crop top, and then listening to 70s R&B.
Yeah.
It was very
it's giving
tits
Stephanie
out.
Zanoni from Grease 2.
I was giving Megan Fox and Transformers as much as I could.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, and then as soon as I got my car back up and running, I drove over to your side of town to Whammy Video over in Silver Lake because they were having a VHS swap that a few friends of mine were selling tapes at, and I walked out with 30 VHS tapes.
Oh my god. Now wait a minute. Is Whammy's in my neighborhood? There's a video store in Silver Lake?
Literally blocks from your house.
What? Is it a pop-up?
It's like a full-time place. It's in the back of a strip on Silver Lake, so you have to kind of go around. Okay. It's not like a video rental store. They only sell VHS.
Holy shit.
But it's also a micro cinema.
Oh.
So they also do screenings there, primarily on VHS. But also digital, Altered Innocence will host screenings there and stuff like that.
Well, that's awesome because I sometimes so there used to be a place called Echo Park Film Center, which we unfortunately lost in 2020 in the pandemic. But I was a member there and I would rent it all the time and have screenings for my friends. We could do Bloodhouse screenings there. It cost $200 to rent for a night.
I've wanted to do a Bloodhouse screening.
We have to. It'd be so fun. Anyway, I'm glad to know that exists.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Fucking scored. I got incredible horror movies. I picked up an original big box VHS of Herschel Gordon Lewis's Blood Feast for my girlfriend because she's a massive H.G. Lewis fan. I got some very Bloodhouse-esque titles. I got Dead Ringers. Wow. I got Exorcist 3. I got Ganja and Hess in an original big box tape that was retitled as Blood Couple.
Blood Couple, yeah.
Which I'm very excited to give her a watch. People on the Stairs, Lady in White, Isle of the Dead, Death Game with Colleen Camp, the Hammer film Twins of Evil. Really just a lot of bangers, and then some porn tapes. So,
great.
Weird ass shit from the 70s. And I was also even they had a box out front when I got so much shit. I had 3 bags. And I was like, no more, I'm done. And then out front, there was a box that just said free. And I was like, all right. So I dug through it and got some like Thin Man movies from like the 30s and 40s.
Oh, cool.
But then at the bottom of that box was like a bunch of DVDs. And I was like, oh, okay. And I got Todd Solondz's Happiness.
Oh, one of
for
my
free.
favorites.
Dario Argento's Inferno.
Incredible.
For free. And an out-of-print Criterion release of Godard's Contempt. For free.
Oh my god, what a lucky score day for you.
Bangers. And also for my girlfriend, I picked up a very rare out-of-print Blu-ray of Tarsum's The Fall, starring Lee Pace, which is like one of her favorite movies. And the Blu-ray's like $500 or like $300 on eBay. It's crazy right now. He just did an interview recently about that and saying that he's trying to get it restored and re-released, but no one's interested, which is sad. But yeah, it was like crazy cheap. And so like I got an insane amount of stuff, and there's another tape swap this coming weekend, and I'm going to go. I don't know where I'm going to put all of these things. But you know, it's fun. And it's especially like awesome. That many horror movies and vampire movies and stuff. I'm so ready for the Halloween season.
For sure. Which it officially is. It's September. It's Halloween time.
Listen, there's boxes of Count Chocula and Frankenberry in my cupboards right now. It's Halloween.
Absolutely. Well, I saw a movie that we talked about once, but I'd never seen before. And it's by the director of a movie we covered called The Tenderness of the Wolves. What's his name?
Uli Lomel.
Yes, thank you. Uli Lomel. And it's from 1980, and it's called The Boogeyman. And it's basically the only other thing that he directed. And
well, he directed a lot of stuff, like especially recently, that's like garbage.
You're right. Thank you for correcting me. This is his other notable
There
film.
You go. Yeah, that's probably
another one that people have seen. It's an okay movie. It's really interesting. It's not what I thought it was going to be. It starts out really hard. Like The Tenderness of the Wolves is hard in that there's like child abuse in the first 10 minutes where a little boy is tied to a bed and then a man with a stocking over his head, like, you know, has intercourse with the little boy's mother.
What?
So that's the opening, and then that's the hardest part of the movie. And then it's actually not a slasher. It's about a haunted mirror. And I was like, what's this movie? It's such a weird movie. It's not really successful, but there's a lot of really great aesthetics in it. You know, it's giving 1980, which is a great year for aesthetics, like we talked about in our House of the Devil episode. It's got some fun, campy acting. It's really a relic of the VHS era, and it's worth watching academically, but it's like not good. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. I will say there's nothing really else like it. I mean, the haunted mirror aspect, like shards of this mirror break off and like follow people home. And then
what?
It's like there's a killer trapped in the mirror, basically, and so shards of the mirror like haunt people, and then it's really demented.
That's not even remotely what I thought that
me neither. I thought for sure it was just gonna be like you know, a Friday the 13th ripoff.
It's
like,
called The Boogeyman.
Exactly.
Like,
I thought it was a Halloween ripoff because they called Michael Myers the Boogeyman in the first movie. I don't know. It has some of that quality to it.
There is a Boogeyman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
But it's not good, but still fun enough to watch. I would recommend it.
Is it like streaming or something?
It is. It's on Shudder, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I took a little venture out of my house to go see a movie this weekend in like a proper movie theater. I went to Vidiots.
Ooh,
Ivor and I went
Vidiots.
together to see one of the greatest films of all time and a movie that I've always wanted to see in theaters and never been able to. They showed the 1985 classic monument of cinema, Clue.
Drusilla, as soon as you said 1985 classic, I was like, it's going to be Clue.
Oh my, I've always wanted to see Clue in theaters. My mom was like a teenager when it came out, and she got to see it in theaters because her like family was in town, and whenever her aunt was in town, they would always go to the movies, and they saw Clue, and like they were the only ones there.
Yeah.
And they loved it, and then like people forgot about it for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And I think they saw like, because when it was screened in the 80s, each theater would have a different ending. There's three different endings.
3 different endings. Yeah.
And you didn't know which one you were going to get, so she only saw, I think, the Leslie Ann Warren ending. Or something.
Yeah.
And didn't know about, and only heard about the other ones, and didn't get to go back to see it because it was pulled from theaters really fast. And so I was so excited to see it in theaters. It was fucking packed at Vidiot's.
I'm sure.
People came dressed up as Madeline Kahn.
The best character, obviously.
And as Leslie Ann Warren and stuff. Had I had the time to prepare, I would have dressed up as Colleen Camp.
Yeah.
As Yvette, the maid.
Yeah.
That's one of my like top tier comfort movies. I've seen
absolutely.
it maybe more than any other movie.
Me too.
Since childhood.
Me too. I watched it so much as a little boy. I mean, so much.
My mom jokes that like whenever that movie comes on for her now, it immediately puts her to sleep because she was so accustomed to me being a rambunctious kid and wanting to watch that movie. So she would put it on, so I would just like look at something for 2 hours and she could like take a nap.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect comedy. It's so fun to watch. It goes down like a Diet Coke, you know, just so easy, such a treat. Every cast member, I mean, the cast is so stacked. But you're right.
Tim Curry, Martin Mull, Michael McKean, fucking Jane Wiedlin.
Jane Wiedlin of the Go-Go's, Madeline Kahn. It just goes on and on and on. Lee Ving from
Fear.
From Fear.
Yeah.
It's so good. And you're right that it was like a sleeper hit. Like there's actually a really good, maybe I'll find it and put it in the show notes. There's a really good oral history of Clue, and it's like sort of slow growth into cult classic because it was a kind of a flop in theaters, and then it very slowly became a hit on VHS and DVD over like 10 or 20 years before it became the cult movie that everyone loves today. So it's people like you and me who like liked it, happened to see it as little kids, and us growing up and showing it to other people. I mean, that's what did it, really, you know?
Truly. No, it really needed the home video era, especially like having all 3 endings at the same time. I feel like had I gone to see it in theaters and they do the wrap up where it's just
just Miss Scarlet or
Miss Peacock or something, like it's just the Miss Peacock ending and you're like okay, and that's it. Like if you just saw that, you wouldn't get the Flames quote. You wouldn't get so much of Tim Curry's stuff. So I feel like that helped a lot. But seeing all 3 endings in a theater, seeing an audience that loved it, people brought their kids too.
Of course.
Everyone. It's written like, if you haven't seen Clue, the humor and the like pacing of it is similar to like Arrested Development or 30 Rock in the way that it is so crammed in there. There's a joke in every goddamn frame and gesture and like, and so people are like huge laughs at all the big jokes, right?
Yeah.
At the flame and the 1 + 2 + 2 + 1 and all those things.
Yeah.
But then throughout it, sporadically, someone like on the other side of the theater will just start laughing at something, and you look up and you'll be like, oh, look what the fuck Michael McKean's doing in the background. God damn it.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that before. It was so much fun.
It's not even a joke in the movie, but I have always loved it since I was a little boy. So every time Joel comes into the kitchen and I'm cooking, I'll immediately turn at him with the butcher knife and be like, dinner will be at 7:30.
That happens the most in my household, because I did it like one time and Ivory loves it, so I do it the most, is when Colleen Camp screams and they all come rushing in. She says, oh, because I also drank the cognac, mon dieu.
One of you
every
is the
fucking
killer.
Im or
It's so funny. Well, shall we get into the movie of the day? It's an interesting one. This is a movie that was pretty well lost for a long time, but I've heard people talk about it over the years, people like Kayla Janice. It's one of the centerpieces of her book, House of Psychotic Women, which is a formative text for me. It is from 1977, directed by Richard Loncraine. Full Circle, a.k.a. The Haunting of Julia.
There's something in her throat. Magnus, she can't breathe.
My wife is a very sick woman, and you know it. Ever since Katie died, she's been completely self-destructive. She's locked herself in that goddamn house, and she refuses to listen to reason from me or anyone else.
Forgive me. Forgive me.
The house. Your house. You must leave it. Get out.
Julia?
Make your minds empty. Empty. Do you know what murder is, Mrs. Lofton? It is an eternal cry.
This is so much.
So I had never heard of this movie until about 2018, when I believe it was on Shudder for like 1 second, and I didn't get to watch it. It's kind of one of those movies where, like the distributor went out of business, and then this person died, and then no one knew who the movie belonged to, and it just kind of got lost in the shuffle. And I get the sense that it was lost in the shuffle to begin with, because it was made in 1977, premiered in Canada and the UK in like small number of houses, didn't premiere in the United States until 1981 under the name The Haunting of Julia. So I think it was just kind of always lost in the shuffle. You just watched this for the first time, right?
I did. I heard about this movie for the first time in 2017, 2018, because at that time I was very obsessed with archiving movies that were unavailable. So movies that had only been released on VHS or hadn't even been released on VHS. Movies like Hell's a Poppin' at the time, Liquid Sky at the time, Dr. Caligari. A lot of these movies, thank God, have finally received disc releases in the like HD era. But this was one that was always on those lists, and I was like, the fuck? There's a big Mia Farrow movie?
Yeah.
What the hell? And it popped up on YouTube at one point, and I remember watching the opening scene, which we'll get into, and being like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And turning it off.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, no, this one's like really, really good and really, really important. And I was like, okay, well, I'd like to see it better than this like piece of shit YouTube rip. And then you messaged, after we started the podcast, you messaged me out of nowhere being like, hey, this guy's like working on a restoration of this movie. How can we we've got to get like on this as soon as possible. We've got to like catch this. And then you watch the restoration,
which is
recently?
not his restoration. Like, this poor guy has been trying to get that movie distributed and restored for like a decade or something, and then Scream Factory put it out, which is great for the world. But I feel a little bit sorry to whoever that man was on Twitter. I saw this before it was restored, actually, because I just was so desperate to see it that I bought a bootleg of it, and it just came on an unmarked DVD, and the quality is pan and scan, definitely recorded from television, because it had the little chyron in the bottom right that said like Saturday Screams on KTLA or whatever, so, which is a charming way to watch this movie, actually. But it was nice to see the restoration because it looked very beautiful.
Part of the reason we're doing this episode is that I was at one of my favorite video stores in the Valley, Be Kind Video, and I picked up an original 1981 VHS tape of this, the like Media Home Entertainment Haunting of Julia released there, and I was like, oh, holy shit, perfect. That's the best way for me to watch this movie. Now, after watching it, I really want to pick up the Scream Factory 4K release. But I mean, it also got a simultaneous release from the BFI in the UK, from Imprint in Australia. So, and I think Le Chat Fumé in France. Like, it's getting like, it is now available everywhere. People have been waiting, and it's finally back. Honestly, the like VHS tape I watched of it, granted it was like cropped a little bit on the like left side of the screen, which is a little annoying. It looked fucking great. It played just fine. I am not getting rid of that tape anytime soon. very, very, very happy. And this movie was very fun.
Yeah, I really like this movie. I wouldn't say that I love this movie. It is like kind of a lesser version of Don't Look Now in some ways.
It's a lesser version of like 3 other movies.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of Rosemary's Baby. I mean, Mia Farrow is there with that haircut, so that does a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of Don't Look Now. It's a little bit of The Changeling, which came
I thought
out
of a
3
lot.
years later.
Yeah.
I was thinking about The Changeling a lot throughout this movie.
Yeah.
And it's very, very funny that this like Tom Conti movie from the director of Wimbledon has just like gone missing.
Yeah. Also, I should say this is based on the novel Julia by Peter Straub, who was kind of a contemporary of Stephen King, like pretty big novelist in the 70s and 80s. Actually passed away this year. Most famous for Ghost Story, which I happened to read this year. And the father of a very famous novelist, contemporary novelist named Emma Straub, who writes literary fiction, but he wrote horror.
God damn, hell yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like now is the time for this movie to resurface, and so I'm glad it has.
Well, as the tagline says, it's been 30 years and she hasn't had anyone to play with.
Yeah, exactly. Which, so I was very careful to say Full Circle, aka The Haunting of Julia. I think as Americans, we tend to center ourselves in things, but actually...
Well, yeah, because it's American exceptionalism and we are different and important.
USA is number one. Notwithstanding, it is only The Haunting of Julia in the United States, I believe. In Full Circle, literally everywhere else.
Australia, it's Haunting of Julia.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, there you go. Shut my mouth.
I believe so.
What is this movie about? So Mia Farrow plays Julia, and she's married to handsome as always Keir Dullea from Black Christmas and 2001: A Space Odyssey.
And Bunny Lake is missing.
Bunny Lake is missing. And the very first scene of the movie, they are having breakfast with their like 8-year-old girl named Katie, who begins to choke. And panicking, Julia decides to try to perform a tracheotomy on her, which, kills her. Cut to 2 months later, Julia is being released from a mental institution looking... I mean, if I ever get released from a loony bin, please let me be wearing a faux fur coat and a wide-brimmed hat like Carly Simon at Woodstock or whatever. Like, she looks so fantastic.
All of Mia Farrow's outfits in this episode would be just that.
I know, you texted me like, Mia Farrow's outfits, ! Which is true.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't go back to her husband. She decides that she wants to separate from him. She wants to live alone. She's bought a house in Holland Park, which is actually the neighborhood that Eddie lives in Absolutely Fabulous. Just a little bit of tribute. If you're a fan like I am, that's the neighborhood. And she, first of all, thinks that her husband has been sneaking into the house because she's hearing noises, and there's been clues of that. Appliances are turning themselves on, so on and so forth. Eventually, she has a party, and somebody brings a psychic medium, and then that person tells her she has to get out of the house, and she sees a little boy. And eventually, Julia begins to suspect that her house is haunted, not by that little boy, but by a little girl. And that's kind of it. I mean, anything that you would change or...
I think that's spot on. This movie does one of the best jobs I've seen in like a supernatural haunting kind of ghost movie of subverting your expectations very well. Because very early on in the movie, I was like, okay, is this a like... House of Psychotic Women Gaslight story, or is this a haunting, or is this one commenting on the other?
Yeah.
And so very quickly, Keir Dullea, much like in Black Christmas, is being a little, and in Bunny Lake is Missing, is being a goddamn little freak. And he's being an asshole.
The world's worst boyfriend / husband in every horror movie.
He's like the worst dad at the beginning, too. The daughter's choking to death, and he's like, "What are you doing? Shut up!" Jesus. When she left him, I was very, very happy. I think I clapped a little bit. So, like, the, like, party that the psychic is coming over to is arranged by his sister, and he's kind of seen a little bit in the background while she's like setting that party up. So it's implied that like he is saying that like that's not good for her health and she needs to go back to an asylum because she's like a trust fund kid. That way like he can get her money.
Yeah.
And there's this whole idea that this is kind of a gaslight narrative that he's building, that he has employed the psychic to go over there, that he's like leading her down this rabbit hole to think the house is haunted so that he can be like, yeah, she's fucking nuts, man, right? Let's put her in an asylum and I'll take conservatorship over her money. Got it.
I don't think I caught that stuff. That's so interesting.
I was reading that really hard for the first half of this movie, and I was like, oh, that's a very interesting take if that's what we're doing. That's almost like a Giallo movie plot. Let's fucking go. This is very, very, very fun. And then midway through, it's very strongly like, nope, we're not doing that.
That's like the kind of movie that you think Let's Scare Jessica to Death is going to be based on its title, but is not.
Yeah.
That's why Julia to death.
Let's haunt Julia to death.
Yeah.
When that was happening, I was like, oh, I get why Josh liked this. Yeah, awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it very quickly establishes itself as being a supernatural entity not long after that.
Yeah,
Pretty definitively.
It very weirdly dispatches with Keir Dullea in the middle of the movie and then kind of pivots and becomes like a more straightforward supernatural movie.
It also forgets about him.
Yeah, no one ever finds his body down there in the basement where he died. He's never commented on again. It's very strange.
His sister also never comes back around again. She has a few like meetings with Mia Farrow near the beginning of the movie to be like, you should take him back. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
She's at the seance and then she never comes back. We see the medium again. We see other people in the seance again.
The production of this was a little bit tense because half of the money was Canadian and is like, I think it's implied like one of those Canadian tax loophole movies where they only had 3 weeks to write and shoot it because they had to like sort of finish it before the tax year was over.
Yeah.
So
not unlike Videodrome.
Yeah, it feels rushed. It feels like there are maybe scenes missing or maybe the script needed a few more polishes. So it's
some characters get dispatched really quickly and kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. Something that after I saw this and started to Google it, something that I was shocked by is that a lot of people hate the score of this movie, which I think is so special. It's by
I love the score.
Colin Town. It's one of the best things about the movie to me. It's so sad and truly haunting, and
it fits the tone of the movie perfectly.
Yeah, it's so good. And it was actually recorded before the movie was made because he wrote it based on the script because the movie, it was also rushed.
That's the way to do it, though.
It was. I think it's so good. I think it's one of the most successful aspects of this movie, for sure.
I saw that the Australian release of this movie that came out by Imprint Films includes the soundtrack on CD.
Oh, really? How cool.
That's the only one. The UK and American releases are like on 4K and on Blu-ray, but that one is on Blu-ray and the CD of the soundtrack. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Do I want that?
Yeah. I really want that vinyl. I bet I could find it somewhere because the soundtrack was released on EMI back in the day, so I feel like I could find that if I looked hard enough.
It's always the case that movies that are impossible to find, you can find the soundtrack fucking anywhere on vinyl because those got like wide releases, and then movies that are like super crazy popular and wherever the soundtrack is like impossible.
I know. That's how it was when
backwards.
I was a teenager and I was obsessed with Shock Treatment. You could not find the movie anywhere, but I found that CD pretty regularly. It's a weird thing. I don't know why.
And now it's the opposite. It used to be that way with Repo Man, where you couldn't get Repo Man and the soundtrack was everywhere, and now it's flopped.
Yeah.
I was just at a party recently and someone was like, I just picked up Repo Man on vinyl. I paid $100 for it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What? No.
As I mentioned, this movie isn't perfect, but for me, it's got so many of my favorite tropes that it's very
This is a
comfy
Josh
and cozy.
movie.
Yeah, it is a Josh
This is a
movie.
cozy Josh movie. It has there's turtlenecks and
There's
a lot of fashionable brown and like tan clothing.
Lots of sensible Capricorn-esque 1970s fashion. It centers on a psychologically fragile woman. It's got a seance. It's got beautiful interior design.
There's an
It's
investigation sequence.
investigation sequence, which includes going to a library and visiting a blind woman.
Yeah.
It's got it all for me. And The Changeling is like that for me too. Like, I don't think that that's a perfect movie, but I just love the way it feels. It's such an old-fashioned haunted house movie, and this is that too. It feels really good to me.
Speaking of the library scene when she's doing, first of all, I love a library scene. I love a investigation. I
Well
love
established on this podcast.
and if someone says microfiche, I am
Yes.
semi. I love
I was
it.
going to say that one of my biggest criticisms of this is that she's going through old newspapers in paper. She could have been doing it on microfiche. I don't know why they didn't move it over to microfiche. It feels like a wasted opportunity.
But the library attendant in this movie, this is such tiny little trivia shit, was played by an actor who's making his film debut ever in this, but is most known as a screenwriter now. Julian Fellows, the creator of Downton Abbey and the writer of
Gilded
Gosford
Age.
Park and The Gilded Age.
Oh my God,
He's
get
the library
out of
attendant
here.
in this.
Oh, I love that trivia. I had no idea.
The cast of this movie's pedigree is insane. Because at the time, like, Mia Farrow was the big sell. Keir Dullea, despite the fact he's barely in the fucking movie, was a big sell. But who's in the movie more than Keir Dullea is Tom Conti
Yeah,
from Oppenheimer.
yeah.
And from, you know, The Duelists and Paddington 2 and, like, the one with David Bowie. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Like,
Yeah.
Tom Conti's a huge fucking British actor.
Yeah.
And he's just like a little like hippie dude who owns a thrift store. Who has a very unfortunate death. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. In the quest to get money for this, of course, they wanted to attach a bankable star. So the director, Richard Longcrane, went to Los Angeles to try to find somebody and didn't have any, success. And then someone in LA was like, well, Mia Farrow is in London doing theater. You should just ask her. And so he did. And she was actually in a play at the Royal Shakespeare Company theater during the filming of this. So she was like in a play and filming this at the same time.
God. And also having sex with Woody Allen, or was that before that?
I'm not sure about that timeline. God, she really can pick them, huh? Like, how many shitty partners has Mia Farrow had?
Well, I was going to say, like, Mia Farrow, between her movies and real life, famously terrible mother.
Yeah. Who's Ronan Farrow's father? Frank? That can't be.
Ronan says it's Woody, but look at that guy. It's clearly Sinatra.
Yeah, it feels like
Because
Sinatra.
I believe like they divorced when she made Rosemary's Baby,
Mhm.
but she said later that she continued to have an affair with him when she was with Woody Allen.
Yeah, he definitely has more Sinatra energy than Woody Allen
He's got, like the
energy.
blue eyes, like it's I don't know.
I mean,
it's so
he looks
funky
like
to me.
one of the Nazis from The Sound of Music, you know? Like,
He is 16. I don't want to get sued, so we'll just stop
it's
there.
fine.
I will say also, this movie's filmed in England. All the characters are British. Mia
Except for our main
Farrow,
couple.
yeah, is an American. And Keir Dullea, who I never knew where he was from. I always
American.
assumed because of, like, 2001 and this and Bunny Lake is Missing were all filmed in England.
Mm-hmm.
But then like David and Lisa at Black Christmas and a few other things were like filmed in Canada. So I was like, is he Canadian? He's from Ohio.
Yeah, he's
Like-
as American as apple pie and baseball. And in the movie never explains why an American couple is living in London. And who cares?
And why they have British accents?
Yeah, it never explains why Keir Dullea's sister is British, but he's American.
They're both trying very hard at British accents. I mean, his name is Magnus Lofting. Like, he's supposed to be British. They just got Keir Dullea.
Well, I don't think that's true because the book is set in the United States. And those are the names from the book. I think they're
Weird.
just like sort of hoity-toity, author writing a gothic novel names.
That's fair. It is very fun for Mia Farrow to be very frantic and yell Magnus a lot. It's
Yeah.
entertaining.
Her living alone in this beautiful house without all the haunting stuff is so lovely, and it's how I like to feel when I'm home alone. Like there's a great scene where she stops and gets Chinese food and then walks to her beautiful house in Holland Park, and I'm just like, isn't that the fucking life? Like there's nothing better than living alone and doing whatever you damn well please, and having a little money to furnish your place however you want, and like. It
Gosh,
just
I
reminded
really
me.
hope Joel does not listen to this episode.
I know. I love Joel, but I moved to LA from New York knowing 0 people here. And I never lived alone before, and I had a lot of savings so I could furnish my apartment exactly the way that I wanted. And it was like some of the nicest times I've ever experienced in my life. Granted, I love being alone, but I was like, this is such a cozy vibe. And her fragility is like how I like to feel when I'm imagining myself alone. Like, there was a big storm, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and one of my windows blew open, and I found myself like clutching my sweater closed and running across the living room to close the shutters. It just felt like a Victorian widow.
Well, did you make sure you kept your hand around the wick of your candelabra
Yeah.
as you walked over there so the wind didn't blow it out?
My house does have a candelabra in every single room.
So does mine. Oh, God. Except
Anyways,
the
just a
difference
vibe.
is my house has a lot more slips that blow in the wind as you walk with your candelabra. So
Yeah.
I might have that upon you.
You do have that on me. I love the bathroom in this. Speaking of interior design, the
Oh
bathroom
my
that's
God.
like all mirrors. That's
And
crazy.
It's all mirrors. A, how did they film in there? B, the like part over the sink with the medicine cabinet like comes out a little bit.
Mhm.
It's so gorgeous. It's also the point where they're walking through the house and they're like, did someone rich used to live here? Like, who? Did someone famous live?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
You could tell that's just how that house was, because the character is like, get a load of this bathroom, huh? Like, how weird. But they do make really good use of it.
They do, especially at the end with all those mirrors. They make very good use of it.
I really like interior design, and I really love traditional British interior design, which is very in style right now as we record this. Like a lot of, if you watch like AD tours on YouTube, a lot of them are in this style, and I'm just all about it. It's my dream house.
Yeah. I similarly just watched another like fashionable London house apartment set movie recently. With the Joseph Losey movie The Servant, which is a big favorite of mine. And they are both such cozy, demented, like house-core movies that I love so much. There's actually the other movie that this made me think of a lot is that there's another, also directed by Joseph Losey, there's another Mia Farrow London set, like weirdly gothic movie about her being crazy and having a lot of money.
What is it?
It's called Secret Ceremony.
Oh, yes, I've never seen that, and I've always
With
wanted to.
fucking Liz Taylor and Robert Mitchum.
Yeah.
And Mia Farrow plays a like wealthy like woman in her like 20s who like lives in this big old house in London by herself, and she's like sees Liz Taylor at the bus stop one day and he's like, Mommy, you're my mommy. Come live with me because you're my mommy. And Liz Taylor's like, okay.
That's so weird.
And it's super incestuous and queer and insane. And Robert Mitchum shows up and he's like, I know what's going on here. I'm gonna be an antagonist.
Is it from the 60s?
It's from like the late 60s.
Okay.
It's really funky, really strange. And if you just want to watch Mia Farrow be insane in a house in England,
And I do.
what a great double feature.
Yeah, that sounds great. What else to say about this? Eventually, through her investigations, she learned that one of the former owners of the house had a little girl named Olivia, who is a bit of a psychopath and seemed to have some power over the neighborhood kids, and she kind of forced them to murder a little boy in the park in the 1940s, and that's the source of all this. She shoved,
As you do.
I mean, listen, we all grew up with a little girl named Olivia who was a psychopath.
I mean, I grew up with a little girl in my neighborhood who was the same age as me, whose name was Olivia and who was British and who, like, was very popular. So trust me, I get it.
Yeah. So that's who's behind this haunting. It's pretty great. Like, there's a great scene where she tracks the girl's mother down, who's still alive in an insane asylum in Wales. Great segment where we get a crazy person. She said that the little girl was born evil, and when she found out about the murder, she strangled her to death. Yeah. And so it's just like there's some cool shit in this movie, even if it all doesn't come together.
I found that sequence where she goes and meets with the mother very, very strange, because like the mother is like out in Wales in a like mental health facility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shot and treated both in Mia Farrow's performance and the way that Richard Linklater shoots and directs the sequence. Like, whoa, my God, it's a psych ward. Whoa, it's a scary, scary psych ward. And as soon as that started happening, I was like, what? Bitch, you were just in one a month ago.
I know.
Like, Mia Farrow, this was you a month ago.
I know.
What are we doing?
It does feel a little... That's one of the things that makes it feel rushed. There's a lot of like little touches like that in the movie that don't quite make sense.
This movie, like, occasionally, and I don't mean this derogatorily, I mean this as a compliment, occasionally feels like two different movies stitched together. I feel like there's the one movie where Mia Farrow is like recently released from a psych ward and her husband is trying to make her believe she's crazy by staging a haunting. And then the other movie is Mia Farrow is being haunted by a child who died in the same way.
Yeah.
It's her child and she's going to investigate it. And they were like, okay, fuck it.
That's fair. I mean, that's true, I think, and fair.
It does feel like that. But also, if you just take that at face value as its own thing, it's very interesting and, like, different.
I would be curious to read the novel. I'm assuming it's more successful on a story level because I know that there were, like, multiple adaptations of this to get to this final movie, and then the last one took place over, those 3 weeks or whatever, or the leading up to those 3 weeks. So it feels like there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen in terms of writing.
I can feel that. The ending of this movie is kind of lovely and kind of strange. Early on, when the medium comes over for the seance, which is such a fun sequence.
Great scene.
When is it not? I don't know a single movie that has a seance where I'm like, oh, what a bad seance scene.
Yeah, never.
The medium is asked if the ghosts are dangerous, and she's like, no, ghosts aren't dangerous. They can't move things around. Unless they attach themselves to someone. Then they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so, maybe not, something like that has happened. When Mia Farrow visits the mother in the hospital, essentially, she's like going to leave and turns around and looks back at her. And her, like, eye color has changed.
Well, she has the eyes of Olivia, the ghost.
Yeah. And the
like
mother just has a heart attack on the spot.
Yeah, because she killed that person. She's seeing her daughter, who she strangled to death 40 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the big critics from the New York Times, whose name is escaping me, not Pauline Kael, but sort
Let's
of
just
that
say Janet
level.
Maslin.
Yes, it is Janet Maslin. Thank you.
Oh.
Janet Maslin called this essentially a horror movie with no scares. And she meant it sort of in a derogatory way, like the way that it's shot and kind of executed makes it such that it telegraphs what's coming. And I think that's true. I also just like don't care. And I've been thinking a lot about horror movies that aren't scary. And like kind of cozy horror movies like this. And I don't know, I feel like, is there still a category that is gothic in terms of movies?
Yeah.
If we can allow that to still exist, I'd say that this is that.
This is absolutely, in every sense of the word, a modern gothic.
Yeah.
And that's the aspect of the movie that I love the most. I think that works flawlessly.
Yeah.
I wish we still made gothic horror films.
Me
Either
too.
in this sense or in the like Roger Corman, like, let's make it look like oldie times sense.
Yeah. I feel like when I was making my short, I kind of got pressured, not by anyone in particular, but just like by society, for lack of a better word, to put a jump scare at the end of it. But I actually was frustrated the whole time because it's like, I'm actually not interested in scaring anybody. Like, I don't want to engineer a scare. I just want to have like a moody gothic drama for 10 minutes. Is that so wrong?
Like, we should also like view any like contemporary American criticism of Haunting of Julia in air quotes / full circle. I'm using that to talk about the 1980 release in America, because at that point everyone was post Jaws, post Texas Chainsaw, Black Christmas, Halloween, Friday the 13th. Like, we like a palette had been set for what would become that era of horror movies. It was already like,
and still is,
and it hasn't changed since then. No one really is making or expecting the kind of horror movies up until recently that are just there to give you goosebumps, just to put a chill down your spine and make you go, what this, and just to give you a mood and a vibe. We get a little bit of that in movies like The Witch, in The Lighthouse, but they still have jump scares a little bit. They still have big scares. They still have gross out moments. They still have.
They're working with contemporary expectations of what a horror movie is.
Exactly. And it makes me, also a little like mad at myself because I'm like, well, all the shit I write, like, mostly falls into those gothic trappings and traditions as well, where like it's mostly about observing the strangeness around you and then being like, I've been following a mystery and tracking it down that way. That's why I feel like a lot of people that are like modern horror fans that try to get into like The Changeling or like what's the Roddy McDowall one from the 70s, Haunting of Hell House? Legend of Hell House are always like disappointed by those movies, but I'm like, they're fucking bangers.
They're so
like,
good.
You need to approach them in the same way you would approach like an Agatha Christie movie.
Yeah, like I guess my question is it so bad to want to make horror movies and not be particularly interested in scaring people? You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's interesting.
I love horror movies and I want to make them, but I'm more interested in character and tone and tropes and like actually executing scares. I don't really care about that. And I don't know. I feel maybe dumb or weird about saying it, but I would just like to see more movies like that. Is that weird?
I don't like. So, both as an audience and as someone who like writes scripts, and like it's been like a decade since I've even made a short film, but as someone who likes to construct stories and narratives, like, I don't like jump scares.
I like them fine, but
I like them sometimes, and I don't like. And as an audience member, I like gore and goop and that kind of stuff. But as someone writing stuff, I don't fall into that at all, ever. Like, almost ever. I really like, I guess like it would be suspense. I like what's closer to the way that like Alfred Hitchcock, Brian De Palma, Roman Polanski kind of build tension and fear in their movies, which is slow, which is paced, which is deliberate.
I mean, even
but
Black
has
Christmas,
a payoff.
Yeah.
Black Christmas doesn't have a big scare.
I think it does. I think The Eye Behind the Door is the scariest movie.
A little bit.
That's the scariest moment I think that's ever been filmed for me.
I think the scariest thing to me about a movie like Black Christmas is what it puts inside of your head at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. I think even like those phone calls just make you feel so sick to your stomach, and the cameras kind of sit still on those girls' faces as they listen, and that kind of just wouldn't be filmed that way today.
The tension,
exactly.
Again, Rosemary's Baby would never be made today.
No,
and if it was, it would be nothing like it. And people have tried to make movies like it lately, and they've always flopped.
Yeah,
every single time.
I guess I just feel like I'm starting to think about. I think my whole life, and I think most people think this, for a horror movie to be good, it needs to be scary. Scary equals good. And I actually don't think that that's true. And I've been deconstructing that question the past couple of years, where I actually don't think a horror movie has to scare me to be good. That's all.
That's fair. I have had a recent, I don't want to say issue, but a recent discovery with myself as like we're getting into Halloween season. I've been watching a lot more horror movies, both in the theater and at home lately with my partner as we get ready for all of that. And we watched, we saw The Last Voyage of Demeter in theaters. We saw Evil Dead Rise in theaters. We've watched, a glut of horror movies at home. Twins of Evil. We watched a lot of the old like Universal Monster movies. We watched, Old Boy in theaters. We've watched a lot of stuff lately that a lot of people describe as being very, very, very scary. And I had this kind of thing when Hereditary came out because everyone talked about it as being very, 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 very scary. And I don't find myself being scared by movies anymore. I find myself being scared by the ideas and the tension in some movies like Black Christmas, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My partner and I just watched Color Out of Space, the Nicolas Cage H.P. Lovecraft movie. And I was disturbed by that movie, but more so by the ideas in it and by like personal phobias. Yeah. I have like a plant phobia that's like a personal thing. I blame Jumanji. But like that's the most I was ever like quote unquote like scared by a movie in the past. Like I don't fucking know how long. And I don't watch horror movies to be scared. I watch horror movies to like inhabit a world.
Yeah. I love anything that horror has to offer. I'm down for, right? Like I love goopy horror, B movies. I love being scared. I love classy goth movies. I love the A24 stuff. I love nasty 80s VHS stuff. I kind of love it all. I consider myself lucky because I still get scared pretty easily and I like being scared. That's probably what drew me to horror, I assume. I just no longer buy that I have to be scared for the movie to be good.
That's very true.
Anyway, let's move on to Have They Seen It, the game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I mentioned him earlier, or you did. Do you think noted monster Woody Allen saw this movie in 1977 or 81, I guess?
I feel like there's a world in which by 1981, they were definitely together by 1981 because they had definitely made, they got together. The first movie together was Midsummer Night's Sex Comedy.
Oh, they were together in 81. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they were definitely together by 81. So I think there's a world in which like they were together and then like it's finally like premiering in New York and she's like, oh, hey, that movie I did a few years ago is finally getting released here. I've got to go to this thing. Do you want to come with? And him just being like, there's a Knicks game on. I don't want to go. I don't like the horror movies. I'm sure you're great in it, but I can't be fucked.
Well, do you think Ronan Farrow has seen it?
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say that like she had a copy of it that was like given to her after the release in the 80s that was in an attic, and for years like some New York gays were talking to Ronan and being like, I loved your mom and Julia. And he was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And found the tape and was like, okay, this is fun. I feel like that's the context in which he watched it.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I feel like he hasn't, but I think if he has, that's definitely how it happened.
So Richard Loncraine, after he made this movie, went on to make a lot of different varied movies over the years. One of which is a movie that is probably the movie of his that I've seen the most, solely because my mother would put it on whenever it came on TV, no matter what point it was at. And that is the 2004 rom-com Wimbledon. So do you think that star of Wimbledon, Kirsten Dunst, has seen The Haunting of Julia?
Oh, I didn't know who you were going to say because I've never heard of Wimbledon and I've never seen it.
It's Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst in a tennis romance.
I will say, since we mentioned interior design and AD tours, go to YouTube and watch the Kirsten Dunst AD tour. She has the best one of all time. Beautiful house. I do not think that she has seen this movie. I love her dearly, but I don't feel that.
I think I agree. I don't think she watches stuff like this, but I do know she works with like Rodart a lot.
Ooh, yeah, they're cool. I saw them introduce what's that documentary from the 80s about homeless kids?
Oh, the one that you love so much.
Yeah. Streetwise.
Streetwise, yeah.
Yeah, I saw them. The Rodart introduced Streetwise at the Arrow, and it was so cool.
Yeah, they have incredible film tastes, and I have no confirmation, but I'm 1,000% certain that they own a copy of Carolee Janice's House of Psychotic Women.
Oh, they must. So
I feel like they have probably seen this movie, and I feel like when they worked with Kirsten on Woodstock, they were like, oh, "What's Richard Lundgren like?" And she was like, I don't know.
He's some guy.
He was some dude. He made me kiss Paul Bettany a bunch. I don't know.
I belong to like a micro generation that's kind of like between X and millennials. And there's been like think pieces written about us like called like the Oregon Trail generation or the Jordan Catalano generation. It's just like a very tiny micro generation that's not very notable, except that it's neither here nor there. And I think Kirsten Dunst is like the coolest person in my generation that's like famous, you know, like who became famous when we were teens and is still famous. And I think she's just so cool. Like the career that she's had, you could not have predicted in the 90s when she was doing those teen movies, like to work with Lars von Trier and all of these insane Euro art house directors and to go on to Fargo. And
I mean, one of her first roles was in a Neil Jordan vampire movie.
It's true. It is true.
So she's pretty incredible. I love her so much.
Yeah, I love her too. All right, well, since we're doing 90s it girls all of a sudden, do you think that Chloe Sevigny has seen this?
Oh, 1,000,000%. Chloe Sevigny absolutely, she and Natasha Lyonne absolutely tracked down like movies on VHS at weird video stores in New York and Portland and stuff like that.
Chem's Video, R.I.P.
Oh, yeah. They absolutely would have rated that in the early 2000s and watched anything like that. Because they produced the restoration of Out of the Blue, the Dennis Hopper movie.
I love that about
They
them.
are the greatest. I think she's absolutely seen Haunting of Julia. I don't know if she remembers it very well.
They probably watch a lot.
They probably watch a lot, and I don't think she's seen it since probably 2003.
Yeah.
Or something. But I think she's absolutely seen it, and I feel like if you asked her about it, she'd speak highly on it.
I think so too. I don't remember which one of them it is, but one of them still has the actual jean jacket from Out of the Blue in their closet. I'm guessing it's Chloe, because Chloe's the more fashionista one of the two of them.
God, that's cool.
That's so cool.
Oh my God. So someone in this movie, hint, 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 Tom Conti, went on to be in what is now regarded, if you talk to Rotten Tomatoes, to be the greatest film of all time. It surpassed Citizen Kane in their algorithm thing. So now the greatest movie of all time, if you like go on content aggregators, which like, why the fuck would you do that?
Don't do that, but go on.
Is the 2018 classic Paul King Paddington 2. In which Tom Conti plays a judge who gets into a lot of Chaplin-esque hijinks with the titular Paddington Bear, who's such an icon of British culture. Do you think that Paddington Bear has seen Haunting of Julia?
I thought you were gonna say what's his face, Hugh Grant. Actual Paddington Bear, the animated character.
No, Paddington's. He worked with Tom Conti in Paddington too. Like they did the little hair shave scene together, and like Paddington's tweeting all the time, like about like what he's doing on the day, and like when it's a rainy day, going outside for a little bit of walk and stuff like that. So he watches movies, like.
Yeah, I think Paddington probably would really like this movie. I also combine Paddington with the little Sleepy Time tea bear, though. You know, like
they're kind of the same person.
Yeah. So in that sense, Paddington's very cozy. He's British. I feel like he would really love this movie, and he's probably seen it. I think he got the Screen Factory re-release.
Yeah, I feel like there's a world in which Paddington Brown watched this movie and was like pause over his eyes multiple scenes because he thought it was going to be scary, and then it was like, oh, hey,
It's relaxing.
I can do this. This is nice. This is cozy. It's a little spooky, but it's all right.
Yeah. That's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. Please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Drusilla, shout out your socials if you want to.
You can find me and my artwork over at sisterhidedesign.com. I've got some new work popping up there in the next few weeks. Getting ready for some big stuff. So go check that out. I'm also on Instagram at HideSister. Because the straight version of that was taken by some stupid band. And I am also on Letterboxd. If you search for Drusilla Adeline, you will find me and all the lovely cozy horror stuff I'm watching this Halloween season. Josh, what about you? How can people imitate your life to the T?
I wish they would by following me at Joshua Conkle on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd. Next week, we are covering something that we already covered because it's one of our major or rumored lost episodes.
Listen, we hate lost media, and we don't want it to be a thing, so we're just going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And we are going to step even further into our sleepy time bear pajamas and get ready for some more cozy horror with Roger Corman's adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's Edgar Allan Poe's The Haunted Palace with Vincent Price.
I cannot wait to record that again.